This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hey everybody, this is Chase from Barrel Age Flicks. Go ahead and check out our Patreon for raw, uncut footage and early access to all of our episodes. The link is in the description and it's only $5 a month. Thanks for listening.
What's going on, cinephiles? This is Barrel Age Flicks. I'm Lenny, yeah man, and this is...
Hey, this is Ron. Let's drink and talk some movies.
And...
This is Stu. Let's drink, motherfucker.
Also...
Ragnar. I'm nut up or shut up. Let's go.
We also have...
Hey everybody, this is Chase. Let's get weird.
And special guest...
This is Snow. The party's here!
And Lenny. I'm not fucking here, folks.
What is up, everybody?
And you're still a special
on?
guest.
I'm Vincent.
Always a special guest. I'm the most special of guests.
So we are doing a hot take on the movie, the Robert Pattinson movie, The Batman.
Yes.
We just got back from the theaters to see this, and we're excited to talk about it. But first, Snow has brought us the drink that we are going to be trying out today. So what are we drinking today?
We are drinking the Batman. And this actually is a kid's party drink that I sauced up for us adults.
Okay.
It has...
So you kind of reworked it yourself.
oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's got grape juice and cranberry, blackberry juice with pineapple and crushed pineapples in it. And then it's also got not Malibu coconut rum. It's got Blue Chair coconut rum and a black sugar rim where I dyed the sugar black with food coloring.
It's a beautiful looking
can
drink.
stand that.
It's going to be on our Instagram, so you guys will take a look at it. But it definitely does look the part for the movie, especially with the black sugar rim on the top. I think that's really cool looking.
It's melting now.
I noticed that.
All right, guys.
Kind of like
That's
kind of
a
like
civil
his fucking eyeshadow.
Yeah.
Eye makeup.
Skull.
All right, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Skull. Gross, motherfucker. Oh, Jesus, there we go. We'll fucking get it eventually.
Oh, shit.
It's leaking.
Okay.
You don't taste the rum at all.
There's a lot of rum in it.
That's good.
You like it?
Yeah.
I figured it'd be too sweet for you, Ron.
Actually, it's not too bad.
Oddly enough,
It's
like the drink offsets the sugar
Yeah.
pretty well.
wow. This is actually really good. Actually, it's not bad. It's the pineapple that I like.
I win.
no,
Well, you get
this-
to chew on it, so.
Yeah, no, this is really good. I'm gonna go ahead and give my review. 2 thumbs up. No, seriously, I'm not for sweet stuff, but actually, it's kind of balanced a little bit. And the pineapple, I love the pineapple taste in it. I think it actually works out really, really well. So I'm actually a big. Sammy is like sneaking by, trying not to be.
She comes in sneaky beaky.
In her fucking T-Rex
She was being a raptor.
That was funny. 2 thumbs up. This is actually really good, Snow. I got to hand it to you. You did a good job on this drink. I'm very impressed. I actually wouldn't mind drinking this a lot. This, I guess how you say how your that drink from Trick or Treat is like your chick drink. This would be mine. I actually like this a lot. This is really good.
me.
No, I want more. So yeah,
And
no.
I gave you the baby glass. Haha, bitch.
Yeah, I know. You took it from me. I had the big glass. And you took it from me.
You got the fucking sugars,
Oh,
all right?
Yeah, I know.
You got the diabetes, man.
All right, so
Betas.
all right. How about you, Chase? It's your turn. Why don't you go ahead and
No,
take a review?
I like it. I'm a huge fan of pineapple anything, so I think that was fucking delicious. But in general, it was good.
Yay.
That's pretty much it.
Oh my God, this is really good.
How many? Did you say?
Yeah, 2 thumbs up. Fuck it.
All right. How about you, Stu?
I'm gonna give it 1.5 thumbs.
Fucking
Gotta
snob.
be the outsider.
I mean, it's good. It's definitely a great party drink. You kill enough of these, you're gonna get fucking hammered.
Yeah, you will.
No, I definitely don't taste the alcohol. That's the one
it's
thing.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not a big fan of some of the components of it. That's my personal taste.
Are you not a pineapple fan?
Oh, no, I love pineapple, but you said that cranberry.
It's got cranberry too.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
see,
don't
that's
like
another thing I love. Cranberry juice. So, yep.
But no, it's good for what it is. It matches the movie perfectly. Great pick.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, Snow, why don't you go ahead and give your own personal review of it?
I'm going to give it a 1.5 too. I'm not a big fan of grape juice, which is heavily in this to make the color, but I do enjoy it, and I think I put more rum in mine because I can taste it. And I think it looks really pretty. I love the black sugared rim.
Yeah.
She said, I'm going to have fun today's episode.
Oh, yes.
Ragnar, how about you, buddy?
It's good. I'd give it 1.5. I wish it had more alcohol in it. And I know you had put a here we go. She getting me a bottle.
Oh, she's going to top your ass off.
Fuck yes. Gonna start this day off right. It's actually really cool. If you let it sit, right, and the sugar starts to drip down the fucking glass,
Yeah.
right, it looks like Batman's like eyeshadow when he takes his cowl off.
Oh, wow, that's a good...
And it's kind of dripping down his face.
Top me off, too, please.
I did already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I would just some more rum, which is coming my way. And it's fucking good. It's definitely a good fucking party drink for sure.
Oh, yeah, no.
You know,
Like, if we ever have any parties at your place, I expect some of these to be made. Seriously. I actually really like this.
Aren't you a demanding little cunt?
Right? Oh, fuck you.
Thank God.
I make a lot of drinks for everybody else.
I expect you to have these ready for me.
So that was our great review of this drink. Snow, that's a great drink, the Batman, and definitely I will have a picture of this on Instagram. So let's go ahead and get into this movie. So let's start with you, Stu, because I know you've been like you know the whole lore of Batman with comics and everything else. So you have to have an idea of how this is, what comic book lore this is coming from. You said that
Yeah, definitely a lot of influences from The Longest Night, The Long Halloween, different series and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then they also took some liberties that weren't necessarily in the comics and to try to make it their own world. Without seeing how it's going to pay off in the long run, I am being cautiously optimistic, like making Martha part of the Arkham family.
Spoiler alert.
well,
This whole fucking
this
movie-
whole episode's gonna be
makes-
spoilers.
so
gonna
of
be a lot.
how Arkham
Yeah.
came.
No, 'cause Arkham was always so you had the Waynes, you had the Arkhams, and one or two other families, and they were known as the founders of Gotham.
Yeah.
there's a whole back history on the Arkhams, like the family of the Harkins.
Yeah. That's why they named it after the asylum.
Oh, okay.
But Martha was never a part of the Arkhams in the comics, and it's going to be interesting because not the first Batwoman, but the second Batwoman in the comic series, she was actually Bruce's cousin from Martha's side of the family. So I don't know if they're just going to take that all completely out, or if they're going to make her now an Arkham.
I thought they had like some Batman and Batwoman had some sort of like love interest between each other.
The first Batwoman.
Okay.
Gordon's daughter, who got shot by Joker and became Oracle.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And stuff like that. So they had a thing going on there.
I am so out of the loop on Batman lore.
It's okay.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, while we're on this, so Wayne Tower is where he was living full time in this.
Yeah.
Where I always thought it was always Wayne Manor that he actually resided.
Well, this
at.
one was different.
Yeah.
yeah.
And well, the Batcave
was-
Batcave was like in some sort of like a metro or something like that, like an old metro station.
Yeah.
It would look like it was underground, but with the remains of the old Wayne Manor
Wayne Tower.
or Wayne Tower. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay. So in the comics, and there's a few different, depending on which storyline you're going with, because just like any long run comic, it's been rebooted and retold numerous times. But there is precedent where after the Waynes passed, they after Wayne Tower was built, they donated Wayne Mansion as an orphanage. Then they just moved into Wayne Tower.
Which they talked about it.
Yeah, they referenced, so they were drawing from that particular storyline right there, which still makes sense. But making Carmine Falcone Catwoman's dad was another thing that they just took liberty with. There was a small reference to that in the comics, but even that wasn't never confirmed. It was Catwoman had a theory that he might have been, but
I
was
was going
never
to say
proven.
it was an interesting twist to it. but I don't think it played enough of a role.
Well, see, a lot of the other movies did the exact same thing. Like, in the original Batman with Michael Keaton, how they made Joker as the killer of Thomas and Martha Wayne. Martha and where the Joker killed, so they kind of changed the story around with this one. I think they've done that in most of all the Batman films.
It changes in every story.
Yeah.
They give it its own flavor. And like I said, from what Matt Reeves was saying is, and I've talked about this numerous times, so he figured that Batman, everybody knows Batman's origin story.
Yeah.
All right. This isn't Batman's origin story. Batman's been doing this shit for 2 years now.
Well, a lot of movies have been doing that. A lot of movies have been trying to take away the whole origin stories now because everybody's tired of the origin stories. Everybody already knows these characters.
So he's...
Yeah, but nobody knows the villains.
That's what Matt Reeves, the director, says he wants to do with his series of movies. He wants to focus on the origins of the villains. Batman's already established, and then focusing on the comic lore that a lot of these supervillains, they didn't come out of the woodwork until Batman came around. So Batman is the creation point for these supervillains. And he wants to focus on that idea.
Well, I love the fact how the Riddler was inspired by Batman.
Yes.
I actually thought was a very interesting story right there because I don't think any of the other Batman movies did that. There was no inspiration from the Batman. They were already villains. But this one, the fact that the Riddler was inspired by him, and it seems like a lot of the villains are going to be coming out of Arkham out of this one. So is this copying the games a little bit?
No. The games copied the story. The established comics. So it's like this is going to be... It feels like it's going to copy some of the established comics, but in its own way.
Yeah.
It's already dropping hints at, spoiler, Joker. He makes an appearance and it's been confirmed that it is basically proto-Joker, before he, puts on the makeup.
Yeah. And you could tell through...
But after the
acid bath, but before he puts on the makeup.
Yeah.
Well, because you really only see him in profile. You don't see him full on.
Yeah.
No, but you do see part of his
mouth.
jaw and mouth.
It was very Two-Face looking.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's what I thought at one point. I thought it was like another Two-Face, but then when you saw the way he was talking, it was like, oh, that's Joker.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he did his laugh and everything. But it almost reminded me a little of Heath Ledger a little bit because of around the ridges of his face, just like Heath Ledger's Joker's got like cuts all throughout it and everything. So I thought that was an nice introduction.
Was it sounded very similar.
Yeah.
They hinted at the introduction of Bane by Bruce taking what...
Yeah, the green vial.
Yes.
Yeah,
What is Venom?
I thought that immediately.
All right, and then the immediate strength burst and the anger and stuff like that. So, which we don't know.
Is adrenaline,
huh? But adrenaline ain't that bright.
No, I know.
green.
No, not as far as the color wise though.
Exactly.
But it was
as
very,
far as the effects of it.
Yeah. And we don't know where he
Reanimator all
got
over
that
again.
venom. But apparently he's smart enough to think, all right, let me carry this shit with me all the time. I'll build a specific port in my fucking armor to take this shit.
So y'all know what's really fucking cool about that?
His armor?
Back in 2010, there was a DARPA research project developing a combat suit called the Adrena suit, and it worked on a concept like that where there was a couple different hypodermic points in the body armor where if you took damage, like you got shot or were stabbed or anything, where the suit was ruptured or had a particular amount of force applied to it, it would rupture a membrane and inject you with epinephrine, cortisol,
shit.
and a couple different things, and could keep you at full adrenaline response.
Was this at test phases, or they never really...
That's interesting.
It went dark.
It doesn't sound
so
like it's
probably deployed.
really good for the human body to have that automatically.
I know exactly
users,
what you're talking about. There's
users of it
suits.
have to be trained specifically for it because it'll keep you at full adrenal response for up to 32 minutes, which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Which will fucking kill you
Unless you are absolutely the tip top peak physical performance capability that you could be.
Even then, that'll fucking that amount of time. On full adrenaline.
It's just
will fucking
death.
kill the most fittest person in the world.
No,
so
it's pretty cool stuff though.
Yeah, so if he's using that, what it seems to be venom, based on the comic lore.
Yeah.
We don't know where exactly he got that from the island, or if he just created his own chemical blend because Bruce Wayne is a master chemist.
Okay, that's more lore right there that I don't know about. So the Venom comes from an island?
Yeah, I forget the name of the island off the top of my head, but Bane basically rules that shit, and then also with this power void that's left now, in Gotham being the shithole that it's become with the flooding and the power void that came, that could be an awesome introduction for Bane to come in and fill that power void.
So you think probably the next because you notice that a lot of the Batman movies, they always sometimes bring two villains in, because this one had
several.
It had several, like two really popular ones. Riddler, of course, which I will say Paul Dano did an amazing job at the Riddler. It was a completely different take. You don't agree? I loved it. I figured it was like more of like a John Doe type of thing, like a serial killer, Zodiac killer.
Yeah, I definitely drew a parallel there, but I can't say I was a fan of this.
You just like the Jim Carrey version. That's what you like.
I mean, I can't even say that. It was just too much.
He seemed more. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I didn't see him as too much at all. He was very subtle serial killer like.
Yeah, I mean, the personality that you saw in his videos, the way...
It was modern.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, his character is basing what he's doing off of what Batman's doing, because he was idolizing Batman.
Idolizing, yeah.
So now
I think the big throw off for me was the combat mask, the old Soviet winter mask.
But he wanted to, he thought only change would happen through fear and vengeance. That's why he thought that would be an appropriate attire, because he was basing it on what Batman's doing through fear and vengeance.
Yeah. So Batman would be vengeance. The Riddler was going off of fear.
The combination of both. Because,
even Batman says in the beginning that
Batman
he was
says
for fear.
Yeah.
Fear is a weapon.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why, Riddler drawing that inspiration. And now, after basically getting, sand kicked in his face by Batman and saying, you're fucking crazy, you're going to die alone, and shit like that.
That's when he went crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. Then I can see that being the precipice reason for him to start going more toward the Riddler.
You think he's going to evolve into what we...
Well, yeah.
Okay, no, all right.
See, well, the actor...
Which will work good, because Bane comes in, and what one of Bane's signature comics was, he actually destroyed half of Arkham and released all the fucking criminals, so Batman was physically beat to shit by the time Bane actually decided to go toe-to-toe with him, because he's been fighting to get all these supervillains back, captured, which he did that on purpose. He's like, all right, I'm going to weaken my opponent as much as possible before I go in, and that's when Bane actually breaks Batman's back.
Wasn't he actually one of the biggest villains out there? Like one of
He's the one who literally broke
his
Batman's back.
He did that.
Picked him up in the air. Yeah. Picked him up in the air and just fucking broke him.
Yeah, they did the scene in The Dark Knight Rises. That whole scene was based off the comic book sequence.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes. Paul Dano, though, the only thing about Paul Dano is that I think he's an amazing actor. He actually is really good at psychotic roles. Movies he's been in is There Will Be Blood. I don't know if you all seen that.
He looks like a serial killer.
Yeah, he plays a perfect
down the street. I would walk on another side of the street.
He looks fucking strange as fuck.
Well, then obviously he's not a serial killer.
He's Klitz from Girl Next Door. You remember Girl Next Door?
Yeah.
Klitz. But he was great. And the question I have is, Riddler, was he always like a geeky character? Yeah. So but I almost find the Riddler and the Joker sort of similar.
Yeah, there's been plenty of times where the Riddler and Joker will actually team up for a while, or Riddler and Penguin will team up for a while. He's more cerebral.
Yeah.
He decides to play on people, shit like that. To actually see him go brutal and actually, bashing somebody's head in with a carpet tool.
Yeah,
I was like, all right, that's a little bit fucking different. That's a little bit outside his normal fucking.
Well, you saw that he was on top of the guy and he was like breathing like
he was getting off on it.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
Very, very weird.
Yeah,
when Ragnar Snow, what did you all think?
Duct tape. I was like, "What the fuck are you about to do?"
It literally looked like when he fucking killed the mayor. It looked like when he got on top of him, he's about to start fucking jacking off.
That's what I was. That's what
I seriously thought he was about to unzip his pants right there.
Yeah, but no, he's going for the duct tape. I'm like, what are we watching?
Well, it was
what are we?
This is a different kind of
Oh yeah, full on get mask.
It was very. I was like, oh, this is going. No wonder this is rated R.
Actually, no, it's not rated R. This was PG-13.
Oh, it looked
because when I saw the R rated on the beginning of the movie, I was like, is this rated R? And I went, because I remember reading something saying it was PG-13, and I went online and Google while we were watching the movie just to make sure the rating, and it says it was PG-13. It's not R rated. It's actually.
But it's not. That
I'll be honest with you. I didn't think it was a combat mask at first. I was like, they're putting a
that's not
hood.
A combat mask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a cold weather mask.
What the fuck was that?
What'd you do?
I
Don't break shit.
I broke it.
No, you didn't. You're fine.
I didn't break it. No.
Stop touching things.
Just don't touch your mic. There you go.
Keep your hands under the table.
Chase, I swear to
Nobody
God,
will see
only
what
you.
you're doing.
Maintain eye contact.
So here's another question for you guys. What did you all think of Colin Farrell's unrecognizable appearance as the
Absolutely
Penguin?
fucking perfect.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I had to look him up and be like, no, that's not really him.
Yeah.
Because the side's just a little bit in the eyes. You cannot recognize.
I couldn't even tell the voice. Like, it wasn't even Colin Farrell's voice. Like, that shows a true actor at his form.
No, he did an
fantastic.
interview on one of the talk shows I saw, and he was talking about this this role and his makeup for it, and he went to Starbucks, full makeup garb, everything. Then nobody fucking figured it out, obviously.
Really?
And he ordered some like fucking chai latte, soy milk.
In the Penguin makeup?
Yeah, everything. And then he went back on set. He said hi to one guy, and he like, "Who the fuck are you? Why are you on stage? Get the fuck out of here." He went to the director to tell him about this fucking old fat guy just on stage for no reason. He's like, he needs to get out of here.
Yeah.
And the director told him, "No, this is Colin Farrell." So apparently the guy walked back. "Colin, is that you?" He's like, "Yeah." Holy shit!
It was unrecognizable.
No,
but
the only thing you could barely see.
You can see it in his eyes.
You can
Eyebrows.
see it in
that's
his
it.
eyes. Then that's about the only thing you could see.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, other than that, his voice, and he's Irish.
he is Irish.
Irish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can. I mean, in any movie that you've ever seen him in, I think for a couple different ones, you never hear his accent. This one here, you couldn't hear his accent either.
No, you couldn't hear it.
You
at all.
know, and he had he had almost it was a. It was
He
a-
sounded like a gangster. That's what he sounded
yeah,
like.
a New York gangster.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
shit at the time.
And that's truly actually whole, because when you think of Batman Returns, the Penguin being like more of a freak, and that was a Tim Burton thing.
Oh, yeah.
This one actually goes towards the comics where he didn't have any powers, he didn't have any weird stuff. He was just a
Just a
weird
mob
looking
boss, yeah.
gangster that waddled and had a pointy nose, right?
Well, he only waddled when he had his legs tied together.
That was a funny scene. though.
Funny as
Fucking
fuck.
great. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Leave me here.
When the way that Colin Farrell was for the Penguin was what Heath Ledger was to the Joker, in my opinion. Like whenever he was on the screen, I was like, oh, I was entertained.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed his appearance on the screen. I enjoyed him. I love the Riddler, but I enjoyed the Penguin more. And the fact that I think he's gonna be in a series on
Yeah,
HBO.
Matt Reeves already said that HBO Max is greenlit not one but two different series based off this Batman universe. One is going to be focused on Colin Farrell as Penguin.
Yeah.
And the other one is going to be more focused on Arkham.
But they're not gonna have Batman in it.
He may appear every now and then,
But it's gonna mainly be like a from his point of view
Yes.
type of story.
So is it be almost more of Gotham?
Yeah, that's what I'm understanding.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still super early in the process.
Obviously, yeah.
So
Yeah.
but I think it might be sort of like what Peacemaker was for James Gunn.
Yeah.
Series. It might be that type of equivalent.
I've noticed a lot of movies starting to do that. Just take liberties of just making a series that are based off the movie now.
In the streaming age we're in, that's the number one way to put it out there,
take a
build a
known
fan
IP.
base,
Yeah.
and then you can release a big budget movie, and they're going to dump money in the movie.
All right, so what do y'all think of Catwoman as Zoe Kravitz?
Fuck yes.
Zoe.
Zoe Kravitz? Yeah. I've never seen her in
Absolutely.
anything. Is there any... You know what? No, I have. She's in Mad Max Fury Road.
No. Yeah.
She's one of the... she's
Yeah.
Which is it?
No, sorry, I was still on Catwoman.
She is
like
Catwoman.
her.
Absolutely.
She moved beautifully.
Well,
She did.
I
It
think
was very- she was very
Snow was
fluid.
talking about how she had a
Yeah.
lot of the moves from like the cartoon series or something like that.
As soon as she started fighting in the beginning, and I was like, that is the cartoon, like Catwoman. And it was badass. The way she crouched on the floor, her movements in the air, everything
She did.
about it.
The choreography was fantastic.
She
Yes.
did great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked how she... You know, the whole joke where it says you have a lot of cast and I have a thing for strays and everything else, but also the whole...
I love that.
Everything
He just
about...
looks down.
And she had a thing for Batman. She fucking loved Batman. I mean, but they kind of went
Well,
their
he's a
separate ways
stray.
at the end.
That's why.
Yep.
He's a stray.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's true.
You
So,
know, but it helps when with her character, it helps when you have somebody that's very flexible and bendy
yeah.
to
Yeah, it does.
If,
Got a
you're,
point.
like, if you look at the other Catwomen, right, it looked almost not so much forced, but like they had to really fucking work to get into a form or like get their fucking leg up.
Michelle Pfeiffer was more of like an erotic type of Catwoman. She was more of like a sensual Catwoman.
Yeah, and Halle Berry was more
I think I would have a lot more fun with Zoe than I would fucking have.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
I know. I like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Well,
No,
Sorry.
you know what?
I am
I would take Halle
officially
Berry.
Team Kravitz.
No, I still think I'd have a lot more fun with Zoe. I really do.
Well, that was
Well,
the thing. Michelle
I mean, it's
Pfeiffer's
Halle Berry,
Catwoman
though.
was like bipolar.
So,
She had two different.
that's the only
personalities.
reason.
Yeah, I understand, but Zoe is still
version, she did not
fucking
have
hot
that.
as shit
She
too.
was
Yeah,
the same person in the cowl or not.
I think she
in the
could
mask
be
or not.
very bendy.
Yes.
No, hers,
try that all
hers
again.
Looked like a freaking.
Snow, we couldn't hear you at all.
Yeah, no, you guys were just talking right over her when she was trying to explain something.
Rude.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome
Damn it,
to the
Stu.
chat.
Damn it, Ragnar.
right there.
No, I was saying that
Right into the tip, like we talked about before.
with Michelle Pfeiffer's character, she had two different personalities. She had her Selena Kyle personality before and after her accident, and then she had her Catwoman personality, which was the sensual dark side that everything was filtered and coming out with. But Zoe Kravitz was very, she had continuity there. She was the same person.
So was Batman.
Yes.
So was Batman.
Well,
like
you don't see him as Bruce Wayne in
I was
this
going
film
to say,
at all.
in
He's
this one,
very much
he is
just
Batman. He's an
Yes.
obsessive personality that has lost himself to the
Yeah,
character.
there's no Bruce Wayne there.
which I'm not happy with. I kind of wish I saw that. But I mean, I guess you're saying because it's his first 2 years being as a
I was
Batman.
going to say, it's because he's so new into the Batman. I think we're seeing the extreme full dive into it, and
Yeah.
in the next couple movies, we
I
might
think
see a
this was the
pullback
only
into
one
balance.
that is the, where it's all Batman.
Well,
There's no separation.
He was just more of like a dark brooding character. Like even when he was outside in the Bruce Wayne persona, it got a little old to me sometimes. That's the only thing I couldn't stand about is that you never saw him smile, you never saw him act normal. He was just always just like emo-ish, and he looked like a fucking emo.
Well, even when in the beginning when he's talking, when he's like doing his monologue over the action sequence, he was talking about how I'm nocturnal now. I've been doing this every night for 2 years.
Yeah.
And he does not exist. Even Alfred inferred it is that he just doesn't go out as Bruce Wayne anymore. He's literally just Batman, and that's what you saw in this movie.
Even Carmine says, "Well, the only man of Gotham is more reclusive than I am."
Yeah.
You know, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Right.
When they met up for the mayor's funeral.
So maybe that's something that's going to come later. But as of right now, he was just that.
Yeah. Now I thought Robert Pattinson's Batman altogether, and especially the suit. I thought the suit was very like. What did y'all guys think of the suit? The suit was.
I want his body armor.
Yes.
The body armor was
I really do.
Did you all think
How
that
the fuck?
the knife in his fucking chest was pretty cool? Like he just clicked that back into place on his
Yeah.
chest.
Those
That
are
was
pretty
dope.
fucking badass.
That was dope. But I need to know what the hell kind of armor he has, because either he has some kind of structurally linked AR-550 steel, and the entire getup's like 140 pounds, and he's somehow still able to move in that, or
it fits in
some-
his Mary Poppins
Mary
bag.
Poppins-
Yes.
You stole my line.
Good
Yes, his
God.
Mary
Yeah,
Poppins.
that bag should have. That bag had to weigh like 200-300 pounds.
Batman's got a bag of holding from D&D. That's what this is.
It is. It was very interesting to see how much shit he pulled out of there to completely armor up.
That was impressive.
So that whole backpack held his whole suit.
Yes.
I just couldn't figure out how. That,
Hold on.
Well, no.
Mary
So
Poppins
he
could
was
have been
wearing it
the
underneath.
suit underneath the normal
He was
clothes.
wearing
They
the
had
suit
all the
underneath.
armor, the gauntlets, the shoulder pads, the cowl, the all his.
I did
belt
not
gear.
like the cowl.
See, the cowl to me was very inspired
Hydrocephalic?
no, it was inspired by 19. Go ahead.
by Batman 66 by the Adam West.
Right.
Matt Reeves, huge fan of Batman 66. You see a lot of nods to that time frame.
I don't know, I think Pattinson just has a big head.
Not as big as Ben Affleck's.
Ben Affleck looked cool though.
Sorry, more
No,
bulbous.
Ben
He's got the mastermind thing going on.
But the thing is, Ben Affleck was also bulky and built as fuck compared
He
to.
built
Yeah.
himself the fuck up for that role, though.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
reason that Ben Affleck
He
was
bulked
huge
hard.
was for Batman.
I
Yeah.
do think that Pattinson looked really good in the cowl.
He
like
did.
his face and the whole thing. He carried himself very well. He looked intimidating.
Very
as fuck,
methodical,
which
very-
is weird because he is not an intimidating looking man. He's very geeky looking, in my opinion.
Scrawny looking too.
Not attractive, but in that cowl, he really pulled it off, which is surprising.
And the voice was good too. The voice was actually good. They didn't do it because, all right, everybody knows about Christian Bale and his lisp and his his over like this, talking like this. But then you see Ben Affleck where they actually use like a machine or something like that, like a modulator. This one, there was nothing. It was just him talking, and he actually had that dark, deep voice, and it actually worked really well.
I think it did, yeah.
So, what do you think, Stu?
I thought it worked well for the time period that he was supposed to be in. Like I said, 2 years.
What is the time period though that?
He's been doing it for 2 years.
I know.
No, they just keep modernizing the time. They just keep forcing the time to be
I was going to say, because we see the smartphones everywhere, so I'm guessing it's just pre-COVID. And
when I'm referencing his time period.
Well, he didn't have a mask on. It was just on for the eyes, right?
It happened during COVID.
The time period, when I say that, is the time period in his life, not the decade. The time period in his life, where he's completely thrown into the 2 years and stuff like that, to the point where he still has a file and is referring to it basically as an experiment, the Gotham Project. And, in his mind, he's seeing if this works and shit like that. So he's throwing himself whole hog into this. I thought he did really well. I really did. And I could see him, with Gotham being destroyed the way it has, him having to come out more as Bruce Wayne to try to inspire the city during the rebuild process, and him having to balance those roles more so in future films, and maybe with Alfred encouraging him, all right, no, now you got to step up and be Bruce Wayne. You got not so much Batman. The city needs Bruce Wayne now.
I think he's going to need to rely on Alfred when he gets out of the hospital.
Speaking of Alfred,
fucking more than
Andy Serkis.
He's a good fucking actor.
I love him.
He really is.
He is, but I didn't. He's, you know what? He's not my. When it comes to Alfred, a lot of people like Michael Caine. I actually wasn't a fan of Michael Caine as Alfred. Believe it or not,
Michael Caine was good.
he was decent, but I actually liked Jeremy Irons. I liked Jeremy Irons as Alfred. I really liked him as Alfred, and I also liked the original.
Which one was he in?
Jeremy Irons was in Justice League, Zack Snyder, and also in Batman versus Superman.
Because he would suck Ben Affleck's dick. All right, everything about Ben Affleck.
But it showed him in actually being a mechanic. It showed him actually doing all that. They didn't do any of that. Andy Serkis really didn't do much in this movie at all.
But he talks about how he taught Bruce to fight. He taught him that. So he wasn't
we
able
need to talk about Alfred, because Alfred is overpowered as fuck.
Yeah,
and they introduce him coming in the first scene in this movie where he's limping on a cane, and I am pissed off.
Why?
Do you understand that Alfred beat the fuck out of Batman and Superman?
Huh?
No.
Yeah, Alfred single-handedly knocked the shit out of these guys by himself.
There's a reason that.
What is this from?
There's a reason.
The comics.
There's a reason Alfred was chosen by Thomas Wayne to be
Their bodyguard.
his butler.
That's what he said.
It was. He's like
the Batman the Batman may not like guns, but I assure you, I subscribe to no such notions.
Well, didn't he said he worked in the CIA at one point?
Not the CIA, the SAS.
MI5.
Okay.
And
SAS?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Fucking,
yeah. I mean, English.
God, man.
No, he's extremely combat trained. Extremely intelligent,
because he was doing the codes for the Riddler.
And so
Alfred is who the Batman wants to be.
Well, Alfred is almost the James Bond of Batman,
kind of
in his abilities to work and use.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, what I mean by that is like use his mind to like help decipher things, and his combat skills, weapon skills.
Yes.
Such like that, he is an all-around, almost like he is an almost all-around James Bond version, of Batman's or Bruce Wayne's
so
bodyguard.
Pennyworth that has a show, the show on Pennyworth, and it delves into his backstory.
Yeah,
they have a show just on Alfred as the Pennyworth character.
I would watch the fuck out of it. Where is this?
It's on HBO Max.
How many fucking Batman shows are there out there?
Fuck ton.
I didn't even realize that. I mean, I knew about the Teen Titans.
So it focuses on.
Did you say Teen Titans?
Yeah, there's a Teen Titans live version on HBO Max.
Real
No,
quick.
it's called Titans.
Yeah,
not
It's called
Teen.
Titans.
They're adults.
Yeah.
They're very adults. They have sex.
Yeah,
Real quick.
Teen Titans is a very
Snow,
kid
you
show.
done doubled down on the rum in this.
You're welcome. You guys were complaining.
So another thing we need to get into is the vehicles.
Bazinga.
Yes. Most of the time, he's spending it on, we'll call it the bat cycle, even though it wasn't tricked out or anything like that.
He actually drove that. He actually rode that a lot more than he did his the car.
Yeah.
So, and I think Christian Bale, even in the Dark Knight series, also rode the bike around. A regular bike, crotch rocket, but then he had the bat bike, which actually came from the Tumbler.
Right. So
Just sit in each other's laps. All right, God.
the first bike we see Bruce on, I can't really place it. I want to say it was a Suzuki GS model, like a 78.
The Batmobile.
No, the bike.
his bike.
Oh, the bike that he was
Yeah,
riding.
Suzuki makes a lot of cars.
What was Catwoman riding?
Catwoman was on a BMW R9T Cafe. Those are fucking sweet
Those are
bikes.
fucking
Oh, wow.
nice,
Yeah.
nimble. Those ones there are.
I've been
The,
wanting one
the
for a
cafe
while,
bikes
but-
are fucking awesome because they're fucking quick and nimble. You can fucking corner.
Right. So
Like they were doing in the
that,
movie?
that- And that R9T is actually, they just released that, I want to say in 2017, the R19. And then it took off. Wait a minute. No. 2017, 2018, they released that. And I've been pretty impressed because you haven't seen many cafe style bikes recently. I mean,
Not around here.
Ducati came out with the Scrambler, and the Desert Sled. Those were pretty cool, but the R9T has a lot of power.
Yeah.
And when you're
Got
talking
a lot
about
of torque.
yes,
Not so much
that,
power, but
that
fucking
low end
torque.
torque, and compared to what I think was a GS model that Bruce was on originally, I don't know how the hell they got this perpetuation of them trying to stay head to head when they were driving beside each other. I'm like,
called-
that R9T would smoke the shit out of that thing.
Well, it seemed like they were both
throttle
they were both racing each other at some point, especially on the bridge when they
I
were
don't
like
took it
split
as
off.
them actually racing each other. I just, they're both going to the same spot and they're, staying near each other.
It's throttle
It
control.
wasn't really
Maybe
a,
it was
a
just for the
competitive
action.
thing. They were going to
Yeah.
stay together until they split,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what that was.
And that's what the very end of the movie was.
Well, yeah, the very
you know?
end, that was a totally different bike he was on,
Well, yeah, I mean,
which I need to look that up.
bike aside and shit, that was the whole thing of they're going in two different paths.
Absolutely,
You
yeah.
know, like he is going the hero vigilante. You know, I'm the good guy, and she's going for I'm taking care of me, and I'm gonna look out for myself because fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, the cool thing about this one with the car, not so much the bike. The bike is it's irrelevant because he was riding it throughout the entire movie, and that's more or less something you could buy on of fucking any showroom floor.
Which is what he'd
you know.
want anyway. He'd
Yeah.
want something like to get us blend in.
Exactly. The car itself, which was actually fucking badass, and we were just talking about it. It's a mishmash of like fucking 3 different vehicles that he put together.
Yeah.
It was cool because it was very simple.
He stalled out though. That's the only thing I couldn't figure out.
He had performance anxiety.
Well, yeah.
The car
so,
had performance anxiety for his first time.
yeah, so we see we see in the first couple scenes when he's back at the Batcave where he has this V12 souped up fucking crate engine sitting on the side.
And he's still putting it together.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we see it come out and he's still getting used to the clutch. Maybe some fuel delivery issues, but I'm really interested in how we had a tail-mounted, not mid-engine, but a tail-mounted V12 that's
Yeah.
spitting blue fire
Yeah.
out of what
Yeah.
maybe was an exhaust and somehow a jet engine part.
Yeah, it was a mishmash, man.
Well, you said it was a mishmash of 3 different cars. You said, right?
Yeah. It was a mishmash of a Camaro,
A Charger?
and a Mustang.
Yeah.
So it's basically in that order: a Camaro in the front, Charger in the mid, and a Mustang back.
It was a beautiful looking car.
And he had the '67 Vet split window when he showed up to the funeral.
Yeah, it was such a pretty
Fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one when I saw
Well,
it.
what I like about this Batmobile is it didn't look like a concept car. It looked like something that somebody could actually like hash together in a garage.
Oh yeah. And
Well, they went more of a
different
realistic.
from the-
They went more with a realistic view in this
Yeah.
movie. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Because
And-
all the other
It's very
Batmobiles
cool.
had all the tricks and all the toys and
tank
stuff like
and
that.
yes, yeah.
The guns.
And this was an interesting one because in like obviously the Batmobiles we're used to, except for the Tumbler from Batman Begins and whatnot. We saw a very stiff suspension and all this, and this one has almost like a trophy truck suspension, like super
that there
flexible.
was fucking
Yes.
Baja.
Yeah, that was very much
'Cause
so.
When he
He's
came
ready to
off
go
that
off
fucking
road.
ramp,
Yeah.
and landed,
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that
looked
thing
fun.
fucking landed smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just fucking glided
I was very
right across
impressed,
the
but
road.
very confused since, Batman doesn't exactly go in the desert or off road because he's in a city.
What did y'all think of? What did y'all think of that chase sequence when he was chasing the Penguin, especially with all the fucking
That
cars
was
and everything?
badass.
I thought the
That
editing
was
looked
fucking
really
awesome.
good.
It was really
The good thing about the car is that it didn't have all of the the
gadgets?
The gadgets.
Yeah.
It was very simple.
It was just a car.
You know, like it didn't fucking slim up, to go through a fucking alleyway.
Yeah.
Like the other ones did, or it didn't fucking plow through like the Tumbler. None of
Right.
that bullshit.
Yeah, no.
Well,
Well, see, that's the thing. But for me, Batman has to have a car with all the gadgets. I prefer.
I mean,
Eventually.
the other
so you
car.
saw,
Yeah.
So you saw he had a. He
I
had
know
a-
you keep saying how this is the first 2 years of Batman, so he's still gaining his.
Right,
Exactly.
So I'm
and
sure
you
he's going
could
to add
see-
more to the car.
You could see he had a welded-in full roll cage,
Yeah.
so everything was stiffened up, and it was stripped out in the back seat. There was no actual seating. There's weight reduction. There's a fucking V12 something or other, which looked almost reminiscent of a Ferrari engine.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact though that he left it exposed. I'm like, that is a major tactile fucking problem.
Yeah,
right there.
especially
changed
tail
later
mounted.
on.
Especially tail mounted.
Yeah, I'm like,
But I'm guessing we're seeing a lot of room being made with weight reductions to allow for additional navigational comm system, different radar and whatnot. That
Well, it looked like he had a Bluetooth radio. So
no, he had something because the call Alfred and shit like that, where he's in a rush trying to get back.
I'm Batman. I have Bluetooth.
Yeah, so he had some sort of system already installed.
Turn off
Yeah.
the stove.
Well, what did you think of? The whole realistic view of this movie. I mean, there's a lot more realistic because there's also it's the first 2 years of his being Batman.
Yeah.
So he's a younger Batman. All the other Batmans have been more like Ben Affleck's Batman. He's been doing it for probably 20, 30 years.
Yeah, he's at the end of his cycle.
Yeah, and then you have Michael Keaton's Batman, which I'd say was probably maybe 20 years, maybe 15 years altogether.
This one you can tell he's still figuring things out, and even down to the personal life, like we were talking about before. It's he has not figured out how to balance his lives yet.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to.
Although how the hell all right, okay, what is the whole thing? This is completely off the sequence of the car, but this is going to the sequence of when he's running away from the cops and he's going over the top and he's about to jump off. What is that type of thing where you zip up?
Squirrel
Suit. Yep.
That thing was cool.
They call it.
Wouldn't he have died if he hit that
wingsuit,
bridge the way that he did? I
Oh
mean,
no, absolutely.
that scene
No.
right there was the
His
most
body armor.
unrealistic part of the movie.
I mean, that body armor.
That man
his
took a
parachute-
bridge
when his
to the
parachute hit
face
the
at
fucking
120
That
miles
shit
an
was
hour.
fast.
shotgun to the chest at point blank range.
Yeah,
Like,
the
that
shotgun.
thing is-
All right. He's
I'm
got a
guessing the
vest
collar has
on
to
or
stay.
something, but
Yeah.
the helmet that there's no neck support. His ass is dead. All right.
But that was a
hit
good
the,
scene,
He
though.
hit the ground, and the first
That
thing
was
that
a
came to
good
mind.
scene.
Yeah, he hit the ground, and the first thing that came to mind was, okay, so Batman has superpowers now.
Batman has
He got
died.
back up. There's no way he doesn't have superpowers.
No, there's no way he would have been able to get up from that. I was
funny
really
as hell.
shocked with that.
It was funny as hell.
I think some of the people laughed in the audience when we were watching that
no,
scene.
we did.
I laughed. No, he dropped that drogue, and I'm sitting there thinking, that's going to fuck you up. Bam!
That worked really well though.
That was really funny because there's not a lot of humorous things in this movie, and that was just like a boom, really.
There were a couple places
like a
where I laughed
jackass
pretty hard, and I
moment.
feel like I probably shouldn't have.
Nah, I think it was meant to.
Like, no, there was like at least the first time I laughed, nobody else in the theater was, and I'm like,
Oh, nobody laughed at the Riddler? I mean, his jokes, his riddles.
I mean, it was a chuckle.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. I fucking love that part. You know, the other actor that we didn't talk about is Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect casting.
was-
he did really fucking
And
good.
see, the thing is, I'm usually really cautious about when they do like the different race acting. What is it that they call it when they
Race swap.
Race swap on somebody. But when I heard that they casted Jeffrey Wright, I am a big fan of him since Ride with the Devil. If you all seen that movie, great movie. Also, he's in Westworld, I believe. He was in Boardwalk Empire. He's just a very good character, and he played Commissioner Gordon perfectly to the point
really
where
did.
I even liked him better than Gary Oldman. I liked him better than Gary Oldman.
I'm gonna need another movie
sorry.
before I'm gonna need another movie with him before I make that call. But he was damn good.
He was very entertaining. I thought that he was, and I loved how he basically was behind Batman's back. I love the part how Batman threw a punch at him to
Oh, yeah.
escape and everything.
You
Says,
coulda pulled the punch."
You could have pulled your
did.
punch.
I did.
That was a little laugh right there. I enjoyed that.
I did like that. who was it? The replacement commissioner that was talking like this on the day of my daughter's wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Like I wanted to commit violence just listening to him.
Yeah, I was sitting right next to him in the theater. He was just like, what the hell's up with his voice? It's like some Godfather type.
Well, everybody had kind of a Northeast Coast New York accent.
That's because Gotham is supposed to be.
Well,
New York
yeah,
City.
it's
But you don't see that in any
Gotham
other
is
films,
New-
so this
is
was the only
Manhattan.
one that did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I loved about the Penguin. I thought he handled that perfectly with the whole accent and everything. I thought
I
it was,
didn't think this was
and
New York.
he seemed a lot more like a gangster from like the 30s or 40s. That's what I loved about him. The way that he talked and the way that he acted, it was spot on. I loved Colin. Like I told you, he stole the show in my opinion.
Yeah,
he was my favorite next to Paul Dano. I thought he did great.
But another character I want to talk about, the city itself.
Oh, I love
The city
set.
setting was really
the setting, the lighting that they did,
yeah.
was so different from anything I'm used to, and it went really well with it.
What would you say was your favorite part about the setting? I mean, what did you?
No,
like
it
about
just it felt right for Gotham. It really did.
For a modern Gotham.
Yeah, like a nice amalgamation of you have some Art Deco styles to modern styles, so everything
the
in
Times
between.
Square Center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything fit. It felt like something city that's been built upon itself throughout the decades, over and over again. And that's that ominous darkness that comes with what Gotham should be.
What would you think is your favorite interpretation of Gotham City when it comes to all the movies, all the
This
Batman
one now.
movies? You find this one,
Yeah,
the
this
more.
one.
See, I enjoyed Batman Begins. I thought Batman
This one here was
Begins
more believable.
I was gonna.
Yeah,
Well, Batman Begins was almost in the same as this one, in my opinion, and then Dark Knight
this
and
is so much better.
changed so much differently. It changed more to a lighted version of the city. It didn't seem like dark or anything like that.
It didn't seem. This one here seemed more believable.
Yeah. What did you guys think of inside of Wayne Tower? Like the
It's very gothic and
way that
Entire-
it looked inside there. I
I
thought it was
honestly
beautiful.
thought it was entirely too dark. I love that aesthetic. Well,
it's Batman. It's gotta
fucking
be
love
dark.
that. But at the same time,
no, it was very.
But you're only seeing like the home apartments of it. You haven't seen
Right.
like where the business is
Yeah.
run too.
Yeah.
So
Right,
That makes
right.
a difference.
yeah, I was thinking about how this is what he's inherited from his parents, and what you see of his parents, you would not expect that kind of decor.
But that's also what he's allowed it to become. He allowed it to.
Is that what he's allowed it to become?
Yeah,
or is that
he's allowed it to. It's not well lit. He's even locked up their bedroom. He's just allowed it to kind of fall into a state of disrepair because that's what he feels like his life is, and that darkness rather than which I can see if it was.
He's got an entire cleaning and decor staff.
Yes, but I'm sure he's also said, put out directions. If that place was well lit the way I'm sure it was intended, a lot of that dark wood would seem really rich and warm and stuff like that. But with that shitty lighting that he's allowed to happen, then it makes it just feel old and decrepit rather than rich and warm.
Well,
Right,
you
right.
see him flinch away from the sunlight and
Yeah.
put on sunglasses indoors when he's standing
Yeah.
in the sun. He doesn't. He's fucking turned himself into a vampire.
Yeah.
He's only out at night.
Sparkles.
It's like.
God
He
damn
didn't
it,
sparkle in
man!
sunlight, which I
No.
was very glad about.
Now, did
No,
you?
it was like Dracula.
we didn't talk about John Turturro as Carmine Falcon, did we? Did we?
I cannot take him seriously.
Who?
Why? What's wrong with him? I thought he did it. I thought he pulled it off really well.
It's not about his character. He did a
sneaky,
really
sneaky?
good job, but he made too much of an impact in Transformers, man. I can't take him
I was
serious.
telling.
my
I was telling you about that.
Mr. Deeds is where he steals the show.
That's what I was telling her
Yeah.
during the fucking movie. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, he's from
Feed
fucking
obsession.
Transformers.
Yeah,
No, I'm
Transformers and his shittiest of shit German.
Don't fuck with the Jesus. Fucking Big Lebowski.
Oh my
That's all I
God.
remember. He's in a lot of Coen Brothers movies, and I think he's
fun
a
actor.
he's a very good actor.
Absolutely.
He was actually great in Brother, Where Art Thou? You ever seen that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fucking great in that one.
Yeah.
But I thought he actually did well. He's
He
also
did
in a
a
movie
really
called
good
Miller's
job.
Crossing. His
Yeah.
Coen Brothers
He is a
movie.
great character actor.
Yeah.
He did.
Period.
He
He
did
is.
very good.
No, and I think he did. I mean, what was the Falcone, the actor?
What?
No, in the Dark Knight, the Batman Begins. He was
I
also.
don't remember.
He's a well-known
That was-
actor.
Fuck.
He's a very well-known actor who was in those movies.
He was in Son of a Bitch.
Yeah, I know exactly.
He's no, that's not the name of the movie.
He was in Son of a Bitch.
No, that's not the name of the movie. No.
Is there a movie called Son of a Bitch?
I'm pretty fucking sure there has to be.
It's Tom Wilkinson. Tom Wilkinson plays Carmine Falcone in the Batman Begins, and I thought he did a decent job, but I thought that Turturro did actually a much better job, actually, in my opinion.
You see him a lot more than you do of Falcone in the Christian Bale series. I mean, because Falcone was very prevalent in this movie.
Yeah.
Classy.
As opposed to just like a cameo
Still picked it up.
instigator
I tried not.
Yeah.
in the Batman, the Christian Bale Batman movies.
Now, what did y'all think of the fight sequences, like these, especially the first sequence with those like clown gangsters?
Effective. A very effective.
I fucking love the fight sequences that you are seeing only illuminated by muzzle flash. That was
That was neat.
choreographically and
You talking about
cinematically
the hallway scene?
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that so much.
I just thought the style of fighting that he was choosing to be quick, efficient.
It was Krav Maga.
Yeah. What I know it had some stylistic.
It was Krav Maga mixed with a little bit of Kali.
I don't even know what type
see
of
that.
fight.
I can see
He
that.
punched the shit out of those guys.
Yeah.
So the
I just
You were about to
when
talk
he-
about the
when he took that fucking
the guy with the two-face, the guy with the half
injection,
paint.
I just overlaid.
I think he was.
You want some of what
he
he's
was
got having?
halfway in, halfway out during
he was
the knockout
new.
game.
Yeah, he was a newer member to the thing.
I think it was an
He
initiation he was doing.
Yeah, he
He
was.
hadn't earned his full face.
Right.
So the same actor who was in that one is the one who's playing Tim Drake in the Titans show, which is third Batman or third Robin, I believe, based on the comic lore. And what's weird, he actually got cast in this movie and filmed his part for this movie before he even got cast in Titans. And even his crewmates on Titans had no idea about it until the trailer came out.
So what you're saying is I need to watch this show because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Titans is a good little series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So potentially, because even showing him his hesitation of not necessarily wanting to break the law and not wanting Batman to get hurt, maybe they're setting him up to be a
I
Robin.
can't see that. The Robert Pattinson Batman. It doesn't seem like he seems like more of like a lone character. I can't see him having a
right
partner
now.
Again, he's got a lot
now.
of growth to do.
So how long do you think that would take? About 4 or 5 more years of being the Batman?
I mean, like I said, with Gotham now having to become
I could see him introduced
more
in the
help.
next
I'm needing more Bruce Wayne, and him having to balance those roles, and then realizing, I want to help another less fortunate person.
Yeah.
And maybe that's
Yeah.
where he'll go through the adoption.
See, I thought it was the kid. I thought it was that kid that
The
maybe.
Maris kid?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I could see that set up.
because that seemed like a setup where he actually is growing close to that kid because he was, I thought it was the whole reason why he was looking at that kid because it reminded him himself of him being a kid losing his
Absolutely.
parents.
Absolutely. There
So,
was a lot
but
of
I also was
comparison.
thinking that could be another character that could be turned into a Robin character, basically.
Maybe.
I mean, they don't have to.
I mean, I would say that too, except he's too young.
And his mom's alive.
well,
Yeah, I mean, by the time that kid's
10 years down the road, I mean, that kid will be
Right.
18, 19 years old, and then there you go.
but
So,
that's 10 years into Batman, and I mean, what Batman usually
That's a
had,
long fucking time.
right?
well, you got to think of the Dark Knight trilogy. I think almost took place almost like 20 years of all three of those movies. There was like a whole big distance to the point where the Dark Knight Rises, he had the wings on his hair and everything, and he was a lot older. He was starting to get like he was ready to retire.
I almost felt like they totally ignored the Robin aspect from that entire.
Well, they did.
that
They
universe.
introduced him as a teaser at the very end with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Right.
Yeah.
When they said that they weren't going to make any more
You
movies.
didn't even know that was his name. He used his last name, and then the very last thing is the
I think that was just like a last minute add on
It
to
was
the
a
script.
tease.
Yeah.
It was
And
a
then
Yeah.
he
joke.
sees
It was
the
horrible.
Batcave,
I
and
think
it's
that
like,
was
oh,
stupid.
he's the next Robin, and it never went anywhere.
Yeah.
It was just
So
implied.
overall, do you think that the fight sequences were realistic though? I mean, there was
Yeah.
multiple
Very much
fight
so.
sequences, but
They had some pretty good fight sequences, and I did notice in a couple of them there was some accidental contact that was made and kept in the film.
well, what'd you think of the whole
They had
sequence
more-
with all those
more
Riddlers?
Well, yeah.
I thought it worked really well.
I thought that was really cool because I really like how Riddler went into the digital age and
Yeah.
basically
Recruited
all these
Off of
people
social
from
media.
social media, like almost like an Instagram or
A cult
TikTok
type
or something. I don't know, something like yeah.
It was very cultish.
reaching out to the disaffected people, the ones that felt alone and weren't being recognized and seen, reaching out to them, and it reminded me a lot of Joker. As inciting the people who felt looked over and shit upon by the city, and put them all underneath one banner. and
Yeah.
so it was a banner for evil, but it was still
All of these villains need to get their followers somehow, and that was like the modern way of recruiting.
Yeah, because they didn't
With,
have
like,
that.
going Facebook Live type situation.
This is villain Twitter.
Interesting. Yeah.
Which I really loved how he did, because he did the same thing that Heath Ledger did in The Joker when he was doing those videos, posting them in the news. That's why the Paul Dano character reminded me of the Heath Ledger's Joker, in my opinion. It almost was sort of similar the way that they were doing things. But
Well, his way of going about everything,
yeah,
was very similar in the fact that he was using the news media as his outlet and somewhat of social media. And if you remember, like they said that he had like 500 followers, and they made like a huge fucking deal about that.
yeah.
I don't see that as a huge deal of having like 500
okay. No,
followers.
So-
the 500
That's
followers
the
were
thing.
500 true
That's the
believers.
thing.
Yeah.
All right, each one of those followers actually ended up being.
And
true
it
believers.
showed
No,
that
I know.
and it
No,
showed that
but,
he
like,
wasn't following
they-
anybody.
they-
They were all following him.
Yeah.
He had 0 followers.
But they made a huge deal.
Yeah.
Over that, like if you consider that to now,
So that's really how it works, though. There are a lot of these people that have these extreme beliefs, these very cultish views, and they're looking for, a front of people that are willing to really commit these acts. They won't have these 14,000 followers, and then only 200 of them.
oh no, not at all.
He
It's
wasn't
going to be a
fighting
very
500 people at the
small
end of the movie
following.
either.
Yeah.
Like about 500 or 600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The point where they're talking about
that
on
they
the
made a
side of the
huge
chat,
deal of
talking
Right.
about what type
that.
of guns. They
Yeah,
get,
no,
where
you're
they-
right.
The outfit, so that they were all communicating with each other, for the planning to help with the planning. So they were helping each other out in order to be effective. Yes, go to Gotham, Army surplus store, and you'll get this, and you'll also find the field jacket.
Yeah.
Just be
And only like 20 guys showed up.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But still, even 20 fucking guys that are willing to pull the fucking trigger.
Oh, I know,
That's
absolutely.
fucking massive.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Who-
500
all right.
who are listening, and you're 20 who show up.
Was that character the one that he unmasked with the Riddler thing right on the top of that balcony or whatever they were on?
Yeah.
Was that supposed to be a character for future movies or something like that?
I don't think.
Because that's what I thought you
think
were talking
so.
about at one point.
No, I think
it is.
I don't. I think he's just a Riddler goon. But just
Well,
yeah.
he was in
Various points
he was
in
in
the
the
movie.
beginning.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
During that
but I
subway
think
fight.
it's
So
just
is
to
it-
show the
No,
the
is it just
disinfectant.
me, or did that look like, because he had 2 different IDs? Is
Both
You're
those
talking about the Riddler.
The
Right.
Riddler did.
Right. And the guy he beat the piss out of up on that catwalk.
Right after you took that venom.
Right. Was that his twin all fucked up because he just knocked
Didn't
the
look
shit out of
anything
it?
like it.
No.
It didn't look
Okay.
anything like him.
No,
All right, then I was.
but both those IDs were names that the Riddler has used in the comics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't know
Okay, that's
that.
pretty nifty. I like that.
So would you say about how much percent of this movie was actually based off of comics and how much of it was more original?
I think probably 85% has comic, real comic base, and then 15% were liberties.
But the fact that Catwoman was Falcone's daughter, that was never in the comics?
No.
Okay.
Even to the point of where they're talking about, like they're hinting at maybe Hush becoming a villain or being introduced in future films.
So who's Hush exactly?
Hush was the character's real name is Tommy Elliott. He was Bruce's best friend growing up. Also comes from a rich, influential family.
Yeah.
Goes on to become a brain surgeon. Then his life kind of goes sideways, and he blames Bruce for it. So he wants to take everything that Bruce has, and he figures out Bruce is also Batman, so he wants to take everything he has out of it. And he plays a long psychological game to basically tear him down.
Yeah.
And what I think they might be setting up Hush for is so the reporter's name that Thomas inadvertently had killed was like Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so maybe they're setting up that it's going to be a son. Son's going to find out that, the Waynes were the reason his dad died, and blames Bruce, for the shit. So he wants to take vengeance on Bruce. And they even specifically, right after they revealed that, they, as far as the shit, they showed a picture of Bruce, trying to cover stuff up. They wrote "Hush," like he's trying to, pay hush money. It's like, but they wrote "Hush" right across that still. I'm like, okay, that's kind of A heavy-handed fucking hint right there.
So that's another villain that'd be going down the road. Oh, go ahead, Snow. I'm sorry.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
As somebody who's very knowledgeable in all the comic book lore, how did you like them including so much that had basis in the comic books rather than just kind of like?
No, I'm good with that
I
because
thought it was great.
everything is interconnected. And the fact that they weren't leaving shit out now, whether they actually build up on it and actually do something with this right now, okay, but rather than trying to shoehorn a story in later, without leaving the breadcrumbs building up to that, I appreciate them tying everything together now and leaving a nice big playground for them to play in. And so I was appreciative. I really was.
All right, guys. So what do you guys think of the Batman theme, the new theme?
I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
It
I actually,
really well.
I actually enjoyed the score. The composer is Michael Gucciano, and if I said that right or wrong, I apologize.
The
He's done
Gooch!
You probably did.
Probably did, but he's done a lot of great movies. He did the Star Trek series. He did a lot of the Pixar movies. He also did Star Wars Rogue One. He's done so many good movies, and I thought that the score was actually how it builds up. It just keeps getting higher and higher and everything. Catwoman's theme, the Riddler's theme was just like very like mystery and everything else. I thought he did a great fucking job with the score. This is actually a great theme, in my opinion.
I even really enjoyed the intro and outro song. It's Something in the Way.
I was,
Yeah.
gonna say
I was
that
getting
too.
really
liked
real
it.
Radiohead.
That's from
vibe.
Nirvana, isn't it?
I don't know.
I believe that's a song
They
from
use it in
Nirvana.
One of the trailers, and it's very, very good.
Yeah.
I believe it's a song from Nirvana, and it's a redo of it. It's a redo of it. So, all right. So we are going to go ahead and do our pint reviews for this movie. I'm really curious what everybody's pint reviews. We're going to go ahead and start with Ragnar and his, and we're also going to be doing what is your number one favorite Batman? Just the Batman character out of all the movies. What is your favorite Batman? But and
All right,
the pint
so-
reviews for this movie.
all right, so I'll give the
Remember
pint
your
review.
2 reviews. You got enjoyment and critical.
Enjoyment and critical. We get really.
Always complicate things.
This was Stu's fault.
I think that was a joint effort between he and I.
All right, so enjoyment wise, I would give this. It's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the length.
It
Yeah, I was
felt
gonna
it,
say,
it
what is the
did
runtime
feel
on
long.
this?
It did feel long, but it wasn't slow. I don't think. So enjoyment wise, I would give this 3 1/4.
3 1/4 pints.
Enjoyment wise, leading up, I hope the way they did everything, I think was good with origin stories of every of the different characters. I think if they follow it, I think it'll be really fucking good. I would give this a 3 3/4 on enjoyment. I think if it was a little bit shorter, maybe been a little bit higher.
Well, what could they have taken out?
I don't know. Like that, and that's the thing. Like, so there's supposedly a I guess a director's cut. You'd want to call it.
I'm sure they're going to come out with an extended cut.
You
of
know,
this. Yeah.
with another scene.
So
or
I think
two.
Matt Reeves has even talked about how he wants to put some more footage in that.
There's one particular scene where Batman's interacting more with the Joker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that
You were saying it was like a proto Joker?
basically. So the same one that we see at the end, with what they're talking to. There was a scene earlier, I guess, in the film where Batman travels to Arkham to talk to a killer to start building a profile on the Riddler, get that mindset. And it was supposedly what we now know.
I'm actually excited to see that, to see how
And
that
Matt
goes.
Reeves decided to put it back in, but the reason he chose not to put it in earlier for the theatrical release is he didn't want to take away any of the light from the Riddler and have people saying, thinking about the Joker the entire time, thinking that he might pop up
Yeah.
at the end or some shit.
And
like
that's completely understandable.
that. So, but he's really excited to put that back in for the home release.
Yeah.
So
What is your critical view?
Critical review would be 3 3/4.
About the same?
Yeah, it'd be about the same or so. 3 1/4, 3 3/4 for it. Like I said, I hope that they focus on the upcoming shows or upcoming movies of the origin of each of the villains, because none of the other ones really did.
Would you guys say this is more of a
kinda
villain
just
movie?
fucking showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
and Batman dealt with them.
Yeah.
You know, so unless you're really into the comics, you're not going to understand the villain side of it and their stories.
Yeah.
You know, so I hope with the upcoming movies and such, that they hope that they focus on the villains a little bit more on their stories, just like they did with the Riddler. Now, my favorite Batman is Michael Keaton.
Right on.
He's number one. His acting in it, I think he did both. I think he did both roles out of it very, very well.
Okay. All right. So I'll go ahead and say mine. All right. So I enjoyed this movie. I thought there were some pros and cons about it, and the length was a little long. And for me, I disagreed about how it moved fast. I felt like it did drag a little bit, but that was maybe just my opinion, because usually I like long movies. I like the longer the better sometimes. But this one did drag a little bit, but I still enjoyed it. Now, if I would give it a enjoyment for pints, I would probably give it a 3. I'd give it 3 pints. I thought it was enjoyable. I'd buy it. I'd watch it again. In fact, I think watching it again, you'll find some more stuff about it. You'll actually see some more stuff that you didn't see before when the first time you saw it. Now, for a critical, I'd give this a 4. I actually would give this a 4. I thought it was a very well filmed, really well done movie. Matt Reeves did a very good job at it. He's got a great filmography doing the last 2 Planet of the Apes movies. He also did Cloverfield, which was a great movie. He did a very good job. He kept the darkness in it, which I enjoyed. It was very well done. It was the score, everything, the editing. I thought the fucking sequence with the car chase was really well edited. I thought that the tint of the movie was just beautiful. The actors and casting was actually perfect on probably everybody. I was actually very happy with all the casting. Even Zoe as Catwoman. Although I like Michelle Pfeiffer, I did like her. I thought she was really well. And the fact that Snow brought up the fact that she has those moves just like in the cartoon series, that kind of changed my view on her. It's like, you know what, you're right. She did do that. The other Catwoman's didn't. So I would, that's basically for my 2-pint reviews. Now, if I were to say my number one Batman, I'm kind of in a cross between Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck. And it's really hard with me because I love Michael Keaton, but I also really dug Ben Affleck's version of Batman. I loved his version. I thought it was dark. I thought he was built. He was really good at the character. So if I had to pick one, I'd go with Ben Affleck. Believe it or not, I would go with Ben Affleck. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to give me shit about it because everybody, says Michael Keaton. But I liked Ben Affleck's. Not in the first Justice League, the Justice League Zack Snyder cut. I liked him better in that one, and especially in Batman versus Superman. So that's mine right there. How about you, Chase?
From an enjoyment standpoint, you're right. It was a long movie. I can see where you think it kind of drug a bit just because of the way that they drug it out to include the somber feel and everything else, and they focused more on audio in some of these points where it was just kind of this still frame almost where they just wanted to set the tone.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it kept pace pretty well. It answered a lot of questions. I didn't come out of there saying, man, I wish I had more of this or I wish I had more of that. They covered things really well.
Yeah.
From an enjoyment standpoint, I'm going to go with Ragnar's statement of 3 1/4.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give it a solid 4, maybe even 4.5 from a critical point.
Wow, 4.5.
Because again, the cast was fantastic.
Yes.
Choreography was phenomenal.
Yes.
The actual sets were honestly immaculate, and when it comes to keeping the tone and really selling this movie for what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I went into this having a lot of doubts. I was not pleased with the idea of Robert Pattinson playing fucking Batman.
Nobody wanted the Twilight sparkling vampire as Batman,
Exactly.
but nobody wanted Heath Ledger as Joker, and that completely changed everybody's mind. So.
Exactly. So, was it a year and a half ago, Robert came out and put on Twitter or something like that if this movie flops, he's going to go into porn, and I don't think we're going to be seeing his dick. I don't think we're going to be seeing his dick on the internet.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
I'm sure it's already there.
So what is your number one?
It came out pretty good.
What is your number one Batman?
My number one Batman, I feel like it would be different if I could remember the others. Apparently, I need to rewatch them, but at this point, I'm going to have to go with Christian Bale.
Okay.
Oh, it's not Val Kilmer?
No, I thought it'd be George Clooney.
Or George Clooney?
Oh, shit. Holy shit!
Oh shit, we just changed his mind.
Don't tell me it's George Clooney.
No.
Oh my God.
You just
I will
awoke,
completely
you just,
think
like-
something different of you.
You just woke up.
Oh
and-
my God.
Well, that was Mr. Freeze, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is Mr.
I
Freeze.
I need to rewatch
With
that.
Poison Ivy and the Batman credit card.
I think it's a good
Oh,
rendition of the
yeah.
1966
that's
series. It's like a
fantastic.
remake of the 1966
Fuck yeah.
series because it's just so corny and so bad with the fucking
Their
cartoon
Bane was
sound effects.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when he had
Yeah.
his friggin' tube pulled out.
Yeah.
Oh my
And he
God.
deflated.
And he shrunk down to this.
No, you come on. You can't cross about back card. Don't go home without it.
Oh, Jesus.
Stu, how about you, buddy?
Okay, so critically, I'm going to go ahead and give this a 4, a strong 4.
Yeah.
Script was really well done, acting on point, cinematography amazing, sound amazing. Everything really worked, and it felt like there for a reason, and I appreciated it. Enjoyability right now, I'm going to go ahead and give it
Curious about this.
probably about 3 3/4.
Okay.
But depending on what they do in future films and build up on this, I could see it going 4 1/4.
I feel like this might be the first movie we've reviewed where we had better critical ratings and enjoyment.
See, the thing is that I think we're all willing to see what the sequel is going to be like.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think we're not like turned off by this movie. We're actually, I want to see more of Robert and see what
There's
else
a
he
lot
can
of
do with it.
curiosity there and where they go
Yeah,
with it.
yeah.
And as far as favorite Batman it goes, I'm just going to go with fucking Adam West because fuck y'all. All right, fuck you.
Come on, you love that bat dance.
That's right. The Bat-Tusi. Get it right. Bat-Tusi. All right.
Oh man. All right, so Snow, it is your turn.
Well, for
Close out with you.
enjoyment, I think I'm gonna go with a 3.5. I really did like it. It was long and it felt like a long movie, but at the same time, I don't think that they could have removed anything. I think it was all there for a purpose and it led somewhere. Critically, I really liked this movie, and with the sets and the practical, the suit and the car and the characters, I have to go with a 4.5. I thought it was just done very well.
Oh, wow.
And it makes me look forward to a sequel.
Okay.
My favorite Batman, because you told me not Bruce Wayne, it's Batman.
Just
favorite
Batman, yeah.
I liked what he did. I really like Pattinson.
Really?
If you're talking about just the Batman character, I thought it was very well done. I
Not
thought
expecting
he
that.
looked. I didn't expect to say that. I do not like this kid, but I thought he just, with the look and his portrayal of it, I was fascinated, and I want to see him grow as a Batman, and potentially also as Bruce Wayne, because he didn't really do that part at all.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued.
And what was your enjoyment?
It was a 3.5.
It's 3.5, and your
4.5.
credit. Wow.
Yeah, I'm very pleasantly surprised with how this went.
All right. So, well, that is our hot take of the Batman. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Spoilers ahead, of course. So make sure you. Would you guys all recommend seeing this in the
Yes.
theater, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you say this is a recommendation in the theater?
If just for the car chase alone, that
Yeah.
was really
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, and look, Penguin. I'm sorry. Colin Farrell's Penguin still gets it for me.
Right.
So, all right, guys. Thanks for joining us for our BAF, Barrel Age Flicks, and we will see you again later.
Awesome.
Drink more Ovaltine.
Hey guys, this is Ron. Thank you for listening to our podcast, Barrel Age Flicks. We are excited to kick off the new year with upcoming episodes of BAF, The Small Batch, Sammy Selects, and The Tasting Room. If you like our show, please leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Guys, this helps out enormously. Give us a follow on Instagram at Barrel Age Flicks Podcast. If you would like to send us a special film request, please contact us via Instagram and we will give you a personal shout out on the show. Our podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Audible, Pocket Cast, Spotify, Castbox, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. Special thanks to Carl Casey at White Bat Audio on YouTube for his awesome music. This guy fucking rocks. Check him out. Hope you join us for our next episode. Later, guys.